Thank you for tuning in to tonight's game. Your game is coming up next. But here's some information from the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
6 easy ways to become an MVP. And by MVP, we mean most valuable parent. Like all of us, the parents of high school athletes tend to protect their children from adversity, or they overly involve themselves by advocating for their success. But when they do, they're negating the value of participating in high school sports. Among other lessons, high school sports teach teenagers to take nothing for granted, how to overcome obstacles, and that an extraordinary commitment of time and effort is required in order to reach goals and experience achievement. High school sports also encourage independence and self-sufficiency, attributes that are needed to be successful in life. It's natural for parents to love their children, and it's important to support them in as many ways as possible. With this in mind, here are 6 easy ways that you can be the MVP of your child's high school team. Number 1, attend your children's games as often as possible. Nothing demonstrates interest and involvement more than being there. And be sure to invite Grandma and Grandpa to come along with you. Number 2, cheer for all the kids on the team, not just your own. Here's a test for you. Do you know all the players on your child's team? Could you say hello to them by their first name? Embracing the entire team is a great way to show that your interest is sincere. Number 3, be a resource for your child's team. Does a teammate need help with transportation? Is the team trying to raise money for new uniforms? Is someone needed to organize a pizza party before the tournament starts? Maybe you can help. Number 4, try not to criticize the coach or the officials in front of your child. Hey, you're human, and there may be times when you need to vent, but be careful when and to whom you do it. Criticizing the coaching staff undermines its credibility and tends to put your child in the middle. And games are seldom won or lost because of an official's call. Remember, coaches and officials are objective. Most parents are not. Empower your child to talk with the coach about concerns. Everybody wants more playing time, and understandably so. But encourage your children to have that conversation with their coaches instead of you doing it for them. Giving teenagers the confidence and conviction to speak up for themselves is one of the greatest benefits of participating in high school sports. Number 6, focus on the life lessons your children are learning, not on win-loss records or how many points they're scoring. According to the NC2A, only about 2% of all high school athletes win a sports scholarship, and the average value of it is less than $11,000. But every child will benefit from the lessons they've learned as a result of participating in high school sports for the rest of their lives. It's difficult being the parent of a high school athlete. There's far more emotion and social pressure involved than is ideal. But if you follow these 6 pointers, not only will your children love and respect you, but so will their teammates and coaches. And you might even be named MVP. Thank you for your support of high school athletics in Indiana. Stay tuned now. The Indiana SRN game is next. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
And a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of High School Football on Indiana SRN. Jimmy Cook alongside Sean Kroll, so pleased you've chosen to spend part of your Friday night with us here on the Indiana SRN family of networks. We've got a fun parochial matchup for you tonight as Roncalli football team host Guerin Catholic. The Golden Eagles travel in with a 10th ranked spot in the Class 3A polls, 1-1 on the season, just 2 games underneath their belt due to issues with complications from the COVID-19 pandemic. Roncalli also has seen that filter into their schedule as well. They weren't able to participate in their season opener, so they are just 2-1, 3 games into their season, also ranked 10th in Class 4A. And as I bring Sean into the fray, Sean, this is a series between these two schools that has only been around since 2016, right around the time that the formation of the Circle City Conference happened. For the most part, the games have been competitive and close. However, Roncalli's had the edge. Never lost to the Golden Eagles so far, a perfect 4-0 during that time span.
Yeah, and during last year's game, we were there for the radio call of this game, and we assumed that Guerin Catholic, with their three-headed monster of Christian Geloff, Gus Baumgartner, and Bernie McGinnis, that they were really going to give Roncalli a test. And out of nowhere, Roncalli smacked him in the mouth, and it's 35-0 at halftime. And I don't really know, if Guerin Catholic knew what hit them. This year, Guerin has to be really aware of what they can do against this Roncalli football team. They've struggled a little bit offensively. They've only scored 27 points on the year, only 3 touchdowns. They've got some issues that they've got to deal with, and it all starts in the trenches. They've got to block and give their quarterback, receivers, and running backs time and space to do what they do.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned last year's matchup and how everybody expected it, yourself included, for it to be a competitive, close-knit, down-to-the-wire affair, because last year's meeting, and again, all that hype about it being a chance for the Golden Eagles to finally get on the right side of the ledger in this series, going into that meeting, every single time they had met, the previous 3 instances, the game was decided by 10 points or less. So you have all that close-knit score box information, and then last year it's just an entire onslaught of attack from Roncalli. Almost every facet of the game was dominated by the Rebels. Now, that being said, both of these clubs go on a similar trajectory a year ago. The Golden Eagles 6-5, just a game above 500. Roncalli 7-6, also a game above 500. And for Roncalli, it is new leadership in the form of head coach John Rodenberg, a well-known coach across the spectrum of high school football, but this is his first season at the helm of the Rebels. And then, of course, an offense that is instilled by offensive coordinator Kevin Bonich, who was one of the holdover staff members from the previous regime. So there is familiarity there with this Roncalli offensive attack, but also a new system, 2-1, a rank of 10 in the coaches poll to show for it. They've got to be happy where they're at right now.
Oh, they're for sure happy with what they've got, especially with the slow start they had last year. They really kind of stumbled out of the gate, and Guerin Catholic, I believe, was their first victory that they had last year. And so this year you look at who they've played so far. They took care of Franklin Central. Chittard's really, really good. Let's not, sidestep that. Beat Columbus North last week. They had really good efforts from Aiden Leffler and Baron Hebler. Both had 100 yards rushing. But don't think that Roncalli is going to come out and do the whole 3 yards in a cloud of dust today. They're very well-rounded, and they may very well come out, spread you out, and throw the football if they find matchups that they think they can exploit.
Well, for the Rebels in this one, this is going to close out a stretch where they've played 3 of their first 4 regular season games at home. After this outing tonight, Roncalli is going to close 3 of their final 4 games away from Roncalli Stadium. And on the side of things for the Golden Eagles, they had 2 home games where they went 1-1, separated by a couple weeks there with the season opener, and then the contest against Brebeuf Jesuit last week. This is a first of 2-game road trip for the Golden Eagles. They'll then close out the rest of the season at home, Northview next week, Bishop Chittard next week, 2 weeks from now, Northview, and then 3 weeks from tonight, Culver Academy. So both these teams enjoying different aspects of their schedule, both very much in need of a win, at least from the collective standpoint of what to do within these locker rooms, right? You already have shortened seasons because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Everybody does make the postseason with IHSAA, the way
Right.
things operate, so you have that going for you. However, going against you is time to gel together, to know what type of team you're going to be in the postseason. We talk so often about how important it is to get hot at the right time, and the fewer reps you have, logic would dictate, the harder it is to get into that rhythm.
Yes, and I think, those are all great points, but I think the biggest thing in this game is that it's a conference game, and both of them are 0-1 in the conference.
Sure.
You do not want to be at the bottom of the barrel. Bishop Chittard is 2-0. Brebeuf is 1-1. You want to get back in that race at 1-1. So both of them are looking at this and saying, we've still got a shot if somehow Chittard stumbles, but we can only do that if we get a victory tonight. And there is a lot of bragging rights amongst these schools in the Circle City Conference, but you're also right in the fact that they want to make sure that they're building for the postseason with all the different things that have gone on this year in terms of games being canceled and all the changes and different things. It's really been hard for a lot of teams to get a rhythm and play every week. We see an open day already for Guerin Catholic. So that's a very important point you make about getting some continuity.
And we're going to step out for the first time. When we come back, we'll take a look at our keys to the game. We'll also dive deeper into this series between Roncalli and Guerin Catholic, a battle of two top 10 ranked schools in their respective classes. More after this. You're watching Golden Eagles football, powered by Indiana SRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the Indiana SRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Hey, it's Keith Myers from Indiana Sports Radio Network. Well, thank you that you're watching the game tonight on Indiana SRN. If you would like to know more information about Indiana SRN, send me an email, coach@indianasrn.org. As vice president of this company, we hope that you sit back and enjoy the game. It's Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.indianasrn.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Welcome back to Indiana SRN's coverage of Golden Eagles football. Jimmy Cook alongside Sean Kroll, live from our Indiana SRN studios on the northeast side of Indianapolis. You have our live feed with our staff on hand, giving you the live feed of tonight's broadcast at Bob Tully Field at Roncalli Stadium. As we move along in our pregame show, let's take a look at some of the keys to the game. We'll shift towards Sean Keys right now. Sean?
Well, thank you so much, Jimmy. I appreciate it. We talked a little bit in our initial segment about the three guys from Guerin Catholic last year that were super important: quarterback Christian Geloff, running back Gus Baumgartner, and wide receiver Bernie McGinnis. They really were the keys to the offense, and so that just kind of lends itself to Sam Miller, the quarterback, being kind of the leader of this engine that they've got. He really needs to play well for them. The passing game hasn't been stellar so far. They do like to run the ball a lot, but Miller is a key for them, especially as a junior and getting more experience for next year. The guy he'll be handing the ball off to quite a bit is Jagger Albert, their senior running back. He's got 173 yards so far this year, and he's really got to be a big-time key tonight for them. The offensive line really has to establish themselves and give him time to make some holes. And ball control, that's what Guerin Catholic needs tonight, is a ball control offense to keep the Roncalli offense off the field.
And then on the Roncalli side of things, for the Rebels, we'll address the elephant in the room.
Yes.
I am a Roncalli alum. This is my first time broadcasting them since they've dropped their previous namesake. So we're up to 4 of those tonight. Sean's going to have an unofficial counter on that. For Roncalli football team, where do you have your focal points tonight from that roster coming in? Again, a pretty balanced attack, albeit a young attack, still quite a few players that have eligibility left past just this year. Where's the focus going to be on for Roncalli tonight?
Well, I think if you're Guerin Catholic, you've got to focus on Aiden Leffler, the senior quarterback. He's been a starter for 3 or 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. He does a great job, whether he's throwing it or whether he's rushing it. either one. He does have the 0 TDs and 3 interceptions, but he's their main weapon. And when he doesn't throw it, if he's going to hand it off to anybody, Baron Hebler is right there to take it. He's got a ton of carries. He's been great for them, 556 yards, as you can see, almost 200 yards a game and 7 touchdowns. Now, the question is, Guerin has seen that film, and they're looking at Hebler. So is there going to be some deception because you've got other weapons like Gallagher and Lockhart and Beckman on the outside? What is Roncalli going to do? Are they going to play typical Roncalli football, or maybe they're going to spread it out and do a little razzle-dazzle?
Well, we saw a lot of balanced efforts for Roncalli a week ago, as Sean just alluded to there. Hebler and Leffler each topping 100 rushing yards a week ago. But also on top of that is the fact that you have a situation within your playbook where, depending on how you space out the offense, and we do expect quite a bit of spacing tonight for Roncalli, is that Leffler can do it both ways. He can also get you with his mobility, but he's not just a quarterback just going to scramble. He has the ability to make plays deep downfield when needed, and that's what the likes of Coach Rodenberg and Coach Bonich are going to want out of their junior quarterback tonight.
Yeah, when you've got two weapons like that in your backfield with Leffler and Hebler, and you spread the defense out, you don't have the ability to have those defensive backs cheat up and try and split the gaps to stop the running game. You're spreading receivers out to spread the field to create space for your playmakers in the backfield. So maybe they spread it out and they continue to run and let those guys just – you want to let your playmakers make plays, and you want to make sure you're giving them the best opportunity to do that with the offense that you call.
You mentioned how important it is, the fact that it's a conference game tonight. That's going to matter a lot to both of these programs. But specifically for the Golden Eagles, one thing that we haven't mentioned is that, again, we mentioned the series record, but we didn't say what it means for these seniors. And there's a couple seniors on this Golden Eagles roster. This is your last chance to try to upend Roncalli. You've been playing them for 4 years now. You've yet to get a win underneath your belts. That's got to be a motivating factor too, you'd think, coming into this one, knowing that you've been here for 4 years now and they've been pounding you left and right. You want to get a win and put that under your belt and put it underneath the belt for the program in general.
Yes, you're looking to get over the hump. It's that signature win that you're looking for, whether it's a Chittard or whether it's a Roncalli being in conference. But that team that's always kind of the bully on the block, you want that one time where you can take them out so you believe and you know that you're like, hey, we beat these guys. We know they're beatable. You're looking for that first time in order to do that, to kind of build that momentum, not just with your program, but in the conference as well.
Additionally, we talked about where Bish Chittard is. We take a look at the captains. Rebels decided to defer to the second half, so they're going to simply kick off, and the Golden Eagles will receive. But it should be noted that we talked about the Circle City Conference setup there. Bish Chittard's 2-0 right now. This is a pivotal game for both of these teams because a loss here for either one of them likely out of the conference title race. Whoever wins is going to get a chance to kind of control their own destiny to an extent. The last conference game for the Rebels is going to come next week at Brebeuf Jesuit. That's their last conference game. If they beat Guerin Catholic tonight, then Roncalli is going to be wanting Guerin Catholic to upset Chittard next week. If the Golden Eagles defeat Roncalli tonight, they control their own destiny for that conference title. There'll be tie breaks to worry about, but they face Chittard next week, so you can't overlook Roncalli tonight. Definitely can't overlook a team that's beaten you 4 times in a row. But if you want a shot at this conference title for either of these teams, albeit one has more control over that fate than the other, it starts tonight in this conference matchup.
It does, and there's still that Brebeuf, Chittard game that's really, really important.
Yep.
That's happened. We have a 7:30 start here, so just a quick update. In the first quarter, Heritage Christian is leading 21-0. 13 seconds into the game, a kickoff return for a score. That'll get you going pretty quick as they take on Shortridge. That's a good start.
Yeah, there's a couple instances where a play like that you might write off as, this could still be a good night. But if you're able to follow it up with 2 successive scores, at that point you're getting the bus warmed up and you're ready to roll.
And Heritage is a really, really good football team as well. So
favored to potentially capture the 2A state title.
Yeah, Kyle Ray's got things going here, but we're ready for kickoff as we have it here. It's going to be very, very exciting. We've got SRN football rankings to bring to you. We got all kinds of stuff, but we are ready for some football. I won't sing like the old Monday Night Football theme song.
That's kind of you.
I knew you'd appreciate that.
Roncalli football team will be set to boot it deep. That's 6 on the night. We'll have Sean keeping real stats and my stats for me as well. It'll be Luke Russell, the junior, set to boot it deep for Roncalli.
I love that as the sun goes down and the shadows come over the field. Just a beautiful sight on Friday nights.
Few places like Bob Tully Field at Roncalli Stadium. That's going to be fielded by the Golden Eagles at the 15. Taken up about, I'll give him about 10 or 15 on the return. That'll be Max Nickel. And we'll get a first look at this Guerin Catholic offense and this Roncalli defense. Sam Miller, the quarterback. We mentioned he's had a respectable start to the season, considering just 2 games underneath the belts of the Golden Eagles. Had to take a pause during the pandemic after their season opener. 2 weeks they did pause and resumed things at the hands of a 28-7 loss to Rebuff last week. 1 wide receiver top of your screen. Sending a man in motion there is Miller. The handoff right there to Albert. Then he'll be shoved back, maybe a gain of a yard or 2. Bring up second down.
This first drive is really, really important, I think, for Guerin to establish themselves of having some type of momentum on offense. At least 1 first down is really important to them.
And on the other side of things, for the football team of Roncalli, you would expect that, especially from a defensive perspective, knowing how well you played previously in Columbus North, a big win against a 6A school, get a good drive out of your defense and get the Golden Eagles off the field early. In the gun, Miller, quick little curl route. It's caught and taken near the marker. Give that to Elijah Edwards, the senior. 6 catches for 66 yards coming in. That will move the chains. So good start to this opening drive by the Golden Eagles. Never wanted to stall early, Sean. Always nice to get at least 1 set of moving the chains underneath your grasp.
And I like the thought process of the simple bubble screen. 1, to get Miller in the flow and completing passes, and 2, using your receivers as blockers to get that yardage and get the first down.
Miller in the gun. Wide receiver split out. It's a pitch behind to Jagger.
Oh, flag.
Might be a hold, and he's tackled near the marker. The weight on that looks like it's going to be holding. We'll move him back. Going to see a lot of Jagger Albert tonight, as Sean mentioned in the pregame show. 55 carries for 173 yards to his name coming into this one.
And that's the mental mistake you don't need on this first drive. You had a great start. You got a first down, completed a pass. Now you're in long territory. I know it's still only first down, but it really, really changes the playbook, and you sometimes get out of sync of what you want to do offensively.
It becomes even more so imperative to get a good play off of this first down call. Already being back an extra 10.
You got to gain positive
and back
yardage
further
here
than you were to start the drive. Miller, another screen. It's floated and almost picked off. Just out of the reach there of Ryan Papandrea. The senior got a fingertip on it.
There was
could do no more
miscommunication there, and they are extremely lucky it's not 7-0 Roncalli.
Anytime there's a screen or a short route like that and the pass is floated, alarms are going off.
The DB's eyes are bulging out of their heads like, whoa.
Bring up 2nd and 20. Miller in the gun. 2 wide receivers to his right. A man in the backfield is Albert. He looks and tried to throw it over the middle, but it's in the grass. Intended receiver was Max Megrel, the tight end.
Yeah, it was hard to get that to McGreel, and this is where you don't want to be. You don't want to be in third and long when, I wish they would have run at least on one of these 2 plays to get some positive yardage, but here you are, 3rd down and 20.
Let's see what the Golden Eagles have in the playbook. They'll split out the wide receivers and leave Albert back there with Miller on this 3rd and 21. Takes the snap, drops back, steps up in the pocket, blitz coming. He'll scramble away and run out of bounds. About 5 yards short of the original line of scrimmage. No flags for unnecessary roughness, and it'll be the first appearance from Ryan Glenn and the punt team as the Guerin Catholic drive stalls thanks to that holding penalty.
Boy, I really thought that was close with the hit on the out-of-bounds play, but he did at least get about 6 yards on that play. But they will be punting now as they get it to Roncalli for their first series of the game.
It'll be Dominic Brown set to return for the football team. Glenn awaits the snap.
8.5-yard average for Brown. Ooh.
High snap. Still got a nice look at it. Brown grabs it at the 39, and he is going to be swallowed up by 4 Golden Eagles. Not great coverage there by the Rebels. Or perhaps it was the high snap that ended up being beneficial there for the Golden Eagles. Gave them a little extra time to get downfield, and that's where the Rebels will set up shop for their first drive.
It's hard. It's difficult. It's okay.
I appreciate that.
Just forgive yourself. Give yourself some grace.
I'm going to go home and cry.
No, don't do that.
First look at the Roncalli football team offense.
And they come out empty backfield.
We expected to see a lot of that tonight. Leffler, direct snap. Got blockers in front of him. Has the first down. So QB draw to start the night for the football team.
It's pretty nice when you get one play and you get 13 yards and a first down.
No need to pat stats there. Just pure great blocking. Credit everybody up front. Especially receivers at this level. You don't expect them to be able to steal a block for that long and not have a holding call or something, bring it back. One man in the backfield. Leffler looks. Quick pass on the far side. That's going to be caught by Beckman. There's a flag, though. It's in the area of the Golden Eagles defense, but let's see. This could have been an illegal block by the Rebels.
Illegal man downfield.
So that's the worst thing you want there on a quick short yardage play like that. It's just as bad as the Golden Eagles getting that holding call. You have a great first play for Roncalli.
So it will be what, 1st and 15? It's close, 1st and 15.
Not nearly as penalized as the 1st and 20 that the Golden Eagles saw, but Roncalli will set up shop here. 2 men near Leffler. 2 wide receivers split on either side. Handoff. Given to Hebler. Pushing forward. And he'll gain most of that penalty yardage back. Set up a 2nd and 7.
Hebler, I'll tell you what, Guerin really has to do a good job defensive line and their linebackers, their front 6-7. He had a huge hole to run through.
Leffler in the gun. 2 wide receivers either side. Hebler's in the backfield with him. Takes the snap. Quick pass near the marker. Caught and then some. Little extra yardage there for Cole Beckman. His 2nd catch of the night. Actually, first catch because the first one was waved off by the illegal man downfield. So his first reception. Moves the chains, and the Rebel offense moving along. 1 wide receiver at the top of your screen, 2 to the right for Roncalli. And we might get a false start against Roncalli, or is it a timeout? Let's see.
Oh, referee's timeout. It's the chain gang. You can see at the top of the screen there they're having some issues with the chains.
Got tangled up a little bit.
Well, when you're moving that fast down the field, that doesn't help a whole lot.
Make the case it's better for the defense. I want to remind you while we have a second to be sure to follow us on Twitter at Indiana SRN. You can get updated scores, game day schedules, and so much more. Don't forget our broadcasts as well. That's at Indiana SRN on Twitter. Jimmy Cook alongside Sean Kroll. So pleased you've chosen to spend part of your Friday night with us here on Indiana SRN. It's got to be an awkward feeling for whoever's in charge of the chain gang tonight.
Yes. Oh, yeah. 100%.
It's viewed as a very simple job, and when things go south.
Especially when for example, they know now that a lot of these games are on television and on radio, and they're like, oh no, everybody's hearing about my mistake. And the score update from another one of the games on the Indiana SRN family of networks. We talked about Chittard. They're pretty good. They're up 21-0 on 6A Southport early.
It's okay, Chain Gang. I've said the no longer allowed mascot 7 times tonight, so it happens. What are you going to do? What have you liked from the Roncalli offense so far? You've seen a lot of that balanced attack, a mixture of a couple run plays and then a nice quick pass there to Beckman. How have you felt Roncalli's operated their game plan so far?
Well, I think that you hit it exactly on the head. They're still having some issues with the chains over there.
We'll step out, gather ourselves as well. 8:45 to go in this one. Roncalli driving early. We'll actually stay here now. Moving parts.
They got it quickly.
Able to get it fixed and untangled just like that. So 1st and 10. Snap to Leffler. He'll roll. Fire. Deep downfield. Has a man. And does he catch it? They'll say yes. Touchdown Roncalli. John Troxel snags it and puts Roncalli up first.
What a play.
A 32-yard touchdown bomb from Leffler to Troxel.
Boy, I thought there for a second he overthrew it, but a great job by Troxel, not only getting his mitts on the ball, but keeping the 1 foot in bounds at the back of the end zone.
College and high school, only 2 places where that pass is going to be complete. Professionally, you need the 2. High school and collegiately, just the 1. And Roncalli, a point after try away, right down Broadway from a 7-0 lead. Roncalli strikes first with 8:33 to go in the first. You're watching Golden Eagles football, powered by Indiana SRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the Indiana SRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Parents, do you like free food? Hike it on over to Prodigy Burger and Bar, where Monday is family night and kids eat free. Every day you can find daily specials featuring craft burgers, tacos, wings, and more. Prodigy is now playing the NFL Sunday Ticket on more than 25 TVs, so you won't miss a second of your favorite teams. Prodigy also caters, hosts private events, as well as dine and donates. Celebrate your school spirit with us at Prodigy Burger and Bar. More than just burgers, located in Clay Terrace in Carmel.
Never miss a second of the action. Go to youtube.com, search Indiana SRN, and click that red subscribe button to get live notifications and access to over 700 games archived on Indiana SRN's YouTube page. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game. Jimmy Cook alongside Sean Kroll. Sean, Roncalli able to put up the first scoring drive of the night. I believe you have the numbers to recap
yes,
it.
5 plays, 60 yards, capped off by a 32-yard touchdown pass to Mr. Troxel in a minute 42.
Blistering speeds by the Roncalli football team to open this one. See if the Golden Eagles have an answer, as that is going to be a return of about 5 to 10. Respectable return for the Golden Eagles. And that's where they'll pick up drive number 2. It's stalled on a holding call. They picked up their first down. We're moving right along, and then the holding penalty bumped them back 10, and they never recovered.
That holding penalty, it's huge. Those mental mistakes will make you have head of hair like Keith Myers if you don't watch out.
Miller under center. Sends a man in motion, and we're going to get a false start. So penalties costing the Golden Eagles early.
Penalty flag on the play against Guerin Catholic.
And again, as a coach, you can live with physical mistakes. Those happen.
Sure.
It's the mental mistakes that will drive you crazy, and it's the false starts, it's the holds, it's things like that will really hamstring a team. And Guerin needs some momentum right here after that quick score by Roncalli.
Well, anytime you're giving up yardage for free via penalty flags, your coaching staff's not going to be happy with you. Direct snap to the fullback, and the Rebels snuffed it out early. Roncalli not being fooled there.
Braden Hall, the ball carrier.
He gave it to Braden Hall, the halfback.
42, Sean Sinovic.
See, I'm labeling Hall a
Second and 13.
fullback because of Madden, right? I mean, like the
yeah.
fullback dive, they just put 2 halfbacks there instead.
I mean, we watched the Seattle Seahawks run straight up old
Sure.
school option this last week in the NFL, so anything goes.
One man in the backfield, it's Albert. They'll hand it off to him. Jagger, full head of steam, and he gets close to the original line of scrimmage.
He's met by number 42 for Roncalli. That's Sean Sinovic.
Sinovic,
third and long.
You've heard that name a couple of times already, Sinovic. He's
Putting his fingerprints on this one early.
Yeah. I believe he's their leading tackler on the year so far, and you can see why.
This Roncalli defense full of senior leadership all across the board. 3rd and 11.
It's a big play, too, because field position game here doesn't benefit Guerin if they don't get a first down.
Going to have to end up passing the ball, something they haven't done excruciatingly well this year. That's tipped and almost picked. Tipped to the line of scrimmage. We'll trot out Ryan Glenn for the second time tonight as the Golden Eagles once again stall on an early penalty. And against this Roncalli team, now granted, this isn't cream of the crop Roncalli of years past. This isn't the Roncalli teams of lore that went on big runs to consecutive state titles. This is a Roncalli team that is very much underneath the leadership of first-year head coach John Ronenberg, still getting their identity together. That being said, this is a Roncalli team that can score the ball well and can put you away early if you're not careful. 2 early drives the Golden Eagles are going to want to have back.
Your defense needs to step up now as you get a fair catch here on the punt return by Dominic Brown, and they'll start with better field position than they did the last drive. So Guerin's defense, which we have known has been they're supposed to be their bread and butter this year, really has to step up and make a stand here, get the ball back, flip the field, and allow them a little bit of momentum here early in the first quarter.
Under 7 minutes to play in this first quarter. Roncalli leads 7-0. This is their second possession of the contest. A 32-yard touchdown pass from Leffler to Troxell. Put the Rebels with first blood.
I got a feeling we may see more Hebler on this drive now that you've got that 7-0 cushion, trying to establish some of that run. And then
on top of that, the defense of Guerin Catholic already expected the running game to be heavily employed. Well, now you know they can beat you deep.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know they have that in your arsenal. Perhaps you're over-accounting for the passing game now. And to your point, Sean, you're seeing more and more opportunities for Hebler to dominate the line of scrimmage.
The DBs are going to cheat back now that they've been beat. So your linebackers are going to play a huge role here in this drive and trying to stop the run if Roncalli goes there.
Sends a man in motion. It's Lockard. It is a jet sweep to Lockard. He's going to try to get the edge, and he does. Gain of about 5 before he's shoved out of bounds. The jet sweep works to perfection for Roncalli, and they'll bring up second and medium.
We saw the 2 linebackers split the gaps there. They just didn't have enough space and speed to get to the running back there of Lockard, the wide receiver there of Lockard on that jet sweep. It was a great design, just couldn't pull it through.
Well, that's the innovation of Coach Rodenberg and offensive coordinator Kevin Bonich. A lot of packages like that, misdirections and empty sets. Love to keep the ball moving. It's a handoff to Hebler. Easily going to have the first down. He's forced out of bounds.
And one of the things I love is guys that play all the way through the play. Even though Leffler had put the ball in Hebler's hands and took off with it, he still faked the pass. And they had sealed the right side of the line, the right edge there, and gave him some room, which is why he let him carry it.
Play action. Pass was low and tipped up in the air a little bit. Intended receiver there was Lockard to bring up second down. They went with a little RPO action there.
That's a good play for Guerin Catholic. You're going to put them in second and long now. Maybe it's a chance now for your defensive line to try and get some pressure on Leffler if they're going to continue to throw the football here in the series.
Handoff there is Hebler. He makes the first level miss and gets the first down. If you don't stop him at that initial level, you're in trouble.
And that's the issue with that. Roncalli assumed they were going to be in coverage for the pass, handed off to Hebler. That's why that defensive line is so important. Fancher, Gallagher, and Turnett have to be really, really steadfast in blocking and trying to get some pressure on Loeffler. Actually, maybe that's Turnett is the pronunciation there.
Loeffler in the gun. Pressure coming.
That's
he
it.
Is sacked. The line collapsed. Good pressure applied. Give the credit to Alex Turnett.
Number 57, Alexander Turnett.
That's the play you need. Negative yardage. Great call on the blitz there, getting them through the line and putting Loeffler on the ground, not giving him time to throw the football. Now they're in second and long. Now you know the defensive backs can play a little bit softer coverage and give themselves some cushion and some room to work with to make some plays.
High snap. Hands off to Hebler. He gains about 3.
Hayden Loeffler, the ball carrier.
Surprising call there from Roncalli.
A little bit.
I know Hebler's done great. I would have expected him to try and maybe run wide there if they were going to run it all. But now, if you're Guerin Catholic, you're in a spot you want to be in, 3rd and 15. Got to make a stop here. You may get pinned down close, but at least keep them off the scoreboard.
And timeout going to be taken by Roncalli. We'll take one as well. 7-0 Roncalli, 4:26 left to go in the first quarter. 3rd and long after this on Indiana SRN.
Hey, Kelson Carter here with Cars My Plumber. Today we're going to take a look at some water heaters and some problems that could be going on and what to do. This is 2 75-gallon water heaters. These are high-efficient water heaters, which isn't the case to most houses. Yours may not be like this, but it's very similar if you have a gas water heater. So you have your gas control valves, and a lot of times these need to be set at a certain temperature, so they need to be at 120 degrees. If they're too high, you're taking a chance of scalding seniors or kids. If they're too low, then you're not going to be getting enough hot water. So the average setting is usually on an A or a hot, and you can find that in your owner's manual if you're wanting to look at into yourself. Another thing is the temperature relief valve, which is located right here. If that were to ever be popping off, you really need to get a professional out to take a look. If you feel you need any professional help, just go online to carsmyplumber.com.
Pass is complete to number 13. That's
Welcome
John
back to
Troxell.
Roncalli Stadium.
Knocked out of bounds by number 22, Luke Moody.
John Troxell on the reception there. Tad Late coming back.
Still,
It's 4th down.
It'll be 4th down for Roncalli. They're going to roll the dice and go for it up 7. It's not a bad call on the right side of your own territory, or are they just trying to draw them off? Let's see.
field position, if you don't get it, you still got decent field position, so why not roll the dice?
Loeffler rolls out, fires, deep, overthrown, turnover on downs. Golden Eagle defense holds and comes up big. That's a huge stop for Guerin Catholic.
And they got great pressure on him. It looked like he may have hit his arm a little bit on the throw coming around from the backside where Loeffler couldn't see him. That pressure may have made him either hurry the throw or he got his arm hit. So you get that on downs, which is huge for them as they get the ball back and don't give up any scores.
Time to see what the Golden Eagles offense has in them. Penalties have marred their first 2 drives. Miller, little misdirection, rolls out, blitz coming,
boy.
he's sacked. Thrown down for a loss there by Tommy Brownfield, the senior.
Right down the backfield.
He had that read perfectly. He played his assignment. That's assignment football because he knows that's a possibility. He stuck with Miller, and then you have a huge loss on that play.
Give credit to Rodenberg,
Second down. Ball's on the 15.
head coach, but also in charge of the defensive side of the ball.
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
Do your job.
There you go.
I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. It really is. It works.
So it'll bring up 2nd and 18 Golden Eagles once again send a man in motion. It is a jet sweep, and it's snuffed out again by Roncalli. So the running game not there right now for the Golden Eagles. Roncalli not being fooled by the trickery. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
1 yard gain.
Yeah, you've lost 8 yards so far on this drive and a 1 yard play. Now you're in 3rd and long again. Down you don't want to be in if you're Guerin Catholic. You need a big play, something positive.
Miller takes the snap, drops back, fires, tipped and caught for the first down.
Wow.
What a show off of hand-eye there by Jagger Albert, the playmaker on the team.
Was almost, did he tip it to himself, or was it just so hard? You can see here on the replay, we'll see as Miller chucked it in there pretty good. Just off his hands, but great concentration to stick with it. Huge gain. That's exactly what they needed.
Well, that's a play you have to have if you're Guerin Catholic at this stage in the game. The 1st and 10 from the 41. Miller gives to Albert. Tries to force his way through. He'll pick up about 3. Bring up 2nd down.
One thing I find really interesting on Roncalli's side is their DBs are playing really, really soft, which means they trust their front 7 to stop them to run. So Guerin has to find a way. Guerin has to find a way to take some of their peripheral players like maybe Braden Hall and get them out in space, sit down, and get some little short passing yardage going to get them some momentum. Look how far off the corners are playing on their receivers.
Hand off to Albert again, and he'll gain a couple. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Halftime score, Westfield 7, Hamilton Southeastern 3.
The front lines of Roncalli doing their job so far.
Try and update you with some scores as we go along.
Miller under center. Roncalli shows blitz and lost the snap. It's recovered by Roncalli. It goes forward, and Roncalli jumps on it immediately. They'll take over in phenomenal field position just past midfield. So it looks like it was a bad snap, Sean, and then kicked forward.
The blitz really threw the timing off. You know, one of the things we saw this last week, center quarterback exchange is the most important thing in a football game. And if that goes bad, lots of things can go poorly. And it did on that play. With the push by Roncalli, the ball squirted out and nobody there for Guerin was able to pick it up.
So now it's Roncalli's turn to try to take advantage of a turnover. Hand off to Hebler. He's got daylight and then some. Well past the first down marker.
That's a pretty good first down gain, and quickly back to the line. They want to pounce on this.
And again, what went wrong? The first level failed for the Golden Eagles. Hebler tries to cut it outside. He'll break a tackle. Continues to turn forward. Gain of about 6 on the play.
And the thing about a guy like Hebler is he doesn't need a ton of room to make a play.
Nope.
With his quickness and shiftiness, the way he's able to shift and cut, put the foot down and cut, that's really, really tough for Guerin Catholic on the defensive line.
It'll be 2nd and 4. They'll fake to Hebler. Leffler will keep it, dive towards the first down marker. He might be a yard short. Or they're marking him, he will be a yard short, so it'll be 3rd and 1.
That was a great read by Leffler, but again, great assignment football there by Guerin Catholic, but quickly, here we go.
QB sneak, and Leffler is going to be pushed forward for the first down.
We see that a lot anymore when in short situations where they'll just come up. We saw last week at Twin Lakes where they would spread everybody out, and the quarterback would come up like he's trying to change the call, and he'd be set for a second. They'd quick hike it and sneak it and get 5-6 yards.
Leffler. 2 men in the backfield with him. 2 wide receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Takes the snap. Quick pass. Caught by Beckman. He turns. Gains about 6. Bring up second down, and that'll be likely the final play of this first quarter.
Great play there by Rode. You're out on an island there. You have to make that tackle.
That will be the end of quarter number 1. Roncalli on the doorstep of a second touchdown. They'll face a second down when we come back. End of 1. Roncalli 7. Guerin Catholic nothing. You're watching Golden Eagles football, powered by Indiana SRN.
More fixing, more finding, more being original. Unique like this, trendy like that. More designing this, arranging that. More saving, and then more making it happen. More of your space looking like this, and more of you feeling like that. More excitement, more savings, more furniture, more rugs, more flooring. More affordable luxury from RG Decor.
Welcome back to Indiana SRN's coverage of Golden Eagles football. A live look at Bob Tolley Field at Roncalli Stadium. Start of the second quarter about to get underway. Roncalli on top of the Golden Eagles 7-0. Jimmy Cook alongside Sean Kroll. I want to thank you so much for choosing to spend part of your evening with us. I want to remind you there's plenty of action. Of course, keep us on your primary feed, but there's plenty of action across the Indiana SRN family of networks for you to enjoy some high school football on this Friday. We've walked it back to the other end of the stadium. Roncalli 2nd and 4, first play of the second quarter. Running game, the story for Roncalli in that first quarter, though their touchdown drive was capped off by a 32-yard bomb from Leffler to Troxell.
That's a key right there for Guerin Catholic. The guy that makes contact on Hebler.
If you don't win that first battle, you're dead. It's over.
You've got to make that tackle to keep them. The yards after contact for Hebler are huge. You've got to minimize that as much as possible.
2 wide receivers at the top of your screen, 1 to the right. Leffler hands to Hebler. No, he fakes it. Loft pass, touchdown. Michael Gallagher from 8 yards out on the touchdown reception. And Roncalli, a point after try away from a 14-0 lead.
Wow, faked run.
Fooled me.
Wide open.
Fooled me and fooled the Golden Eagles defense. Thought for sure they were going to go with the handoff to Hebler there. He would have had daylight too, but instead, blown assignment by the Golden Eagles. And Gallagher has the 8-yard touchdown catch. Good snap, good hold, right down the middle. 14-0 all Roncalli, early stage of the second quarter. Stay with us, more after this. You're watching Golden Eagles football, powered by Indiana SRN.
Life comes at you fast, so it's important to have some help along the way.
Ah, my favorite patient. Ah, my favorite patient.
When the dust settles, it doesn't always end as anticipated. Embrace the journey and care for the ones around you.
My favorite patient.
For everything else and every stage in between,
my favorite patient.
Methodist Sports Medicine is here for you.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.indianasrn.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Hey, did Grandma miss your big game? That cannot happen. Subscribe today to our YouTube channel and catch every game. Watch it again on demand. Here we go. 6 plays, a minute 56, 56 yards, 8-yard touchdown pass. There you go.
Roncalli rolling. And that's going to be tipped and hit into the back of the end zone. It'll be a touchback. That was misplayed on the return there by Max Nickel. It hit his fingertips and rolled in the end zone.
Luckily, that's in high school, that's still a touchback.
I was going to say, I was like, yeah. Any other level, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah. At another level, you're going in. Yeah, it's probably a safety.
So a harmless touchback for the Golden Eagles. What's not harmless, though, Sean, is the situation the Golden Eagles are in right now. Because you're down 14 to a Roncalli club that, let's be honest, has dominated this series since it started in 2016 when the Circle City Conference was formed. You've had drives stall because of penalties and a turnover. This has to be the drive where you get points. It doesn't necessarily have to be 7. It should be, but it doesn't have to be. But you have to get points.
You have to get points. You're absolutely correct.
Miller, quick pass to Edwards. He'll gain about 3. Bring up second down.
Note, Center Grove has a new all-time leading rusher, and his name is Carson Steele.
Wow.
He's already got 3 touchdowns on the evening.
Hats off to Carson. Hats off to that whole Center Grove program in general, especially this year. At the tippy top of 6A. Miller has one man in the backfield with him. A wide receiver on either side of your screen. Takes the snap. A pitch to Albert. He tried to initially get past the first level, but credit the Roncalli defense and give a nod of the cap there to Tyson Garrett.
I would have liked to have seen Albert there as the defense was moving towards the sideline. Plant his foot, cut back inside that second receiver, see if he could get more yardage there.
Bring up third down, a familiar situation for the Golden Eagles tonight.
But it's only 5 yards. It's not like it has been 17, 18. So this is manageable if you're Guerin Catholic.
It's a very fair point. We'll get a timeout taken by the Golden Eagles. We will take one as well. 10:22 to go in this first half. Roncalli leads at 14-0. You're watching Golden Eagles football powered by Indiana SRN.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
Welcome back to Roncalli Stadium. An impressive defensive effort there by Roncalli on 3rd and 5. It'll bring up another 4th down for the Golden Eagles. And a familiar face tonight, unfortunately, for the Golden Eagles. Not unfortunately for him, but unfortunately for the team as a whole. Ryan Glenn back out there, set to punt it away.
Yes, that's not good. We need to get word to these officials about, hey, give us the 90-second timeouts. Come on, fellas.
To remember that in the future.
Yes.
That'll be a punt that takes a Golden Eagles bounce. That'll be scooped up by Brown, and he'll fall forward. Roncalli will set up shop at, believe it or not, their best starting field position tonight at the Golden Eagles 31-yard line.
That is definitely not what you want. And we know, real quick here, if I may interject, football is a rough game. Things happen. We want to send our thoughts and prayers out to Micah McClendon. He's in Chapel Hill, Tennessee. We found out about him this week. He was making a routine tackle during a game last week. He broke his neck and fractured his spinal cord. So please keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers.
Handoff there as Keebler hurdles a defender. And a hop, skip, and a jump gives him a gain of about 5.
At least he didn't try and stomp on anybody like Antonio Brown.
Exactly. So it'll bring up 2nd and manageable for Roncalli.
The defense has to rise up here and keep them to at least a field goal.
Keebler tries to get the edge, spins, turns, gets the first down.
That's the issue with Hebler. You make that contact, and still he finds a way with his body and his low center of gravity to spin out of it and gain more yards and get the first down.
Plenty of work done in the weight room as well. Keeps those legs churning, get that extra yardage. High snap, Hebler again. He might dance around, tries to get the edge. If he does, he might be gone. 10-5, touchdown Roncalli. Baron Hebler, his first score of the night, 8th on the year, and Roncalli a kick away from a 21-0 advantage. There's nothing you can do there, Sean. If you don't make that initial stop or you don't have a defender there, you can't play the angles game there.
And his ability, not just that, to get around the edge and cut up the corner and cut up the sideline with his speed. I mean, I think that's the thing about a guy like Hebler is he has the power to run up between the tackles, but he can also get to the outside and make the speed plays like he just showed right there.
Good snap, good hold. Russell's point after try is good. All Roncalli will stay here with 8:54 to go in the second quarter. Roncalli 21, Guerin Catholic zilch.
I did not get how long that was, that touchdown run was, but we'll see right here. Actually, hey, 23 yards. How about that?
The beauty and wonder of replay.
And you know, the play right there by, you know, Luke Moody is in no man's land because he's got his receiver that he's got covered, and once the receiver gets any contact on him and pushes him off his pursuit of Hebler, he's done.
And you give plenty of credit to the
receiver.
Yes.
Yes.
And we mentioned that in the first couple drives for Roncalli, the blocking ability of these receivers, particularly on a run play like that where you're so reliant on the edge to be there. You have to get a block that seals the edge for you. And to be able to do that at such an efficient rate at this level is a credit to the type of offense that Roncalli is trying to instill in and week out.
Yes. In case you're curious, 3 plays, 31 yards, 36 seconds.
That has been the story for Roncalli tonight. Blistering speeds for their scoring drives. Guerin Catholic, meanwhile, still trying to put together more than 2 first downs in a drive. It's been a rough go of it so far. That'll be taken at the 1. Full head of steam. And one trip shoestring tackle there.
That was close.
Away from Elijah Edwards, maybe taking that to the house.
That was very close. He found a seam and he went straight. Didn't mess around, folks. If you're a young football player and you're watching that, he saw that hole in that seam and he's going full bore through it, and it almost paid off for him. If you're Guerin Catholic at this point, you're trying to stop that snowball rolling downhill. And you cannot have the mental mistakes.
And Sean, we're one Roncalli scoring drive away. Maybe we're already there with given where we're at in the first half in terms of clock management. You got to be careful with how long you go before you abandon the run game if you're wanting to keep this game competitive.
Yes.
And that's an unfortunate aspect for Guerin Catholic because they rely so heavily on the run game.
As they are running right here.
Albert. Well, that'll help everything as he's going to gain about 6 there. And that's the biggest key right now is this is the drive where it's 3 scores. Yes, it's a big mountain to climb. But you still have the clock on your side to mix things up, to get a good mixture of run and pass, to rely on Albert. Maybe he breaks the big play here or there, gets you a scoring drive. But if you don't score here, we're at territory where it's not over for Guerin Catholic, but everything they do offensively has to get either more sophisticated or they're going to have to take a couple more chances.
The urgency changes.
Correct.
The urgency level changes. And as a coach, you have to challenge those young men in white on offense and say, we need some time for our defense to rest and adjust. We need you to take some time off the clock.
Miller hands off to Albert. He gets close to the first down marker. They'll say he got there. Looked like he did from our vantage point. Moves the chains. First down for the Golden Eagles. That's always a good momentum boost.
Yes.
Particularly for your men up front, because you know you're able to get that time for everything to develop, particularly those running lanes.
On the 43-yard line.
I mean, Albert's a senior. He's seen everything you need to see at this level. He's able to take care of himself. Just give him a little bit of space.
One thing to keep in mind, though, too, we're looking at the starting offensive line. Junior, sophomore, junior,
very
sophomore.
Young. Very, very young.
Very young. That's a work in progress.
Miller with Albert right next to him. 1st and 10. Snap is to Albert, and he is met up immediately by 2 Roncalli football team members.
And if anybody can grow these young men into a solid offensive line, it's Tom Dilley. He's in his 8th year at Guerin Catholic, 43-24, fantastic coach.
Senovic there again.
On the tackle, he's something else.
Been all over the place for Roncalli tonight.
They do kind of have, always seem to have that one linebacker that's just an absolute monster.
Miller sends a man in motion. It's Edwards. They'll give it to Albert. Albert trying to get through that line of scrimmage, and he pushes it forward. Good job by his interior lineman as well.
That's a good gain.
Gain of about 5.
If you can keep your 3rd downs 5 yards or less,
well, this is where this offense thrives.
That's a win.
Oh, yeah.
That's a win for
100%. 100% the way that Guerin Catholic wants to operate this offense. Anything that is 3rd and short, 3rd and manageable like that, you'll take that.
Yes.
All day and twice on Sunday. Miller in the gun. Wide receivers split on either side. Albert there with him. Quick pass. It's caught by Edwards. He'll dive forward, but I don't think he's going to get there. Be a couple yards short of the marker.
Yeah, the problem here, the decision here is now, if you try and go for it and you don't make it, then you're putting Roncalli in prime territory. So,
again,
you flip the field.
You completely flip the field, and you're asking your defense on relatively little rest to come out here and make a stop. I mean, this is what almost decides your game with 6:30 to go in the second quarter.
And here's what they're doing.
Going to roll the dice.
Unless they're going to try and drop them offside, try and draw them offside.
Not a bad idea the way this Roncalli defense has been eager tonight. Have yet to jump, though. They won't. They'll hand off to Albert, and he is going to get close to it. Let's see.
What are they going to? We can't see.
We can't see the marker from where we're at.
Are they going to measure? They're going to run all the way across the field and measure?
I think so.
Okay. This is huge right here. If you're Guerin Catholic, you desperately need this.
What do you think, Sean?
I don't like the spot. I don't.
Short. The Roncalli defense holds. Golden Eagles roll the dice. Comes up snake eyes.
That's a tough decision if you're Tom Dilley. You want to give your team some momentum, something to build upon, and you come up just that short.
And that's the right play call there. I'm not saying the decision is the right play call, but the idea to put it in the hands of your senior, let Albert push forward, hope your line's going to get you enough separation for him to get to the hole.
Going for it was the right call, is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying the fact that you went for it, you didn't get cute. You went with your running game, you went with your bread and butter is the move there. I get both sides of the argument of whether or not you go for it at this stage of the game, but my point is that running the ball and relying on your senior tailback was the way to go.
Don't get cute for sure.
Hand off to Hebler. He's got some space. Another big chunk of yardage there for the senior. Roncalli starting to flow offensively.
And getting up back to the line of scrimmage quickly is really wrecking havoc on Guerin defensively too.
Hand off to Hebler. He's going to dance around, and he has some space. Getting around the edge of the 30. Stiff arm all the way to the 28-yard line, close to a horse collar there.
Does he tire out at all?
No, I guess. That would be the answer right now, right? No.
I love the crowd, Mike.
Oh, it's wonderful. I just told you information. He yelled information your way. Hand off to Hebler. He might take it. One man to beat. He's brought down at about the 5.
Brought down by number 18.
Make that the 10.
Your DBs are making tackles that far behind the line of scrimmage.
Hebler sucking the life out of this Golden Eagles defense.
I mean, look, the adjustments on Guerin, they got to take a timeout. Roncalli's so good at getting up quick to the line of scrimmage. It's so hard for Guerin Catholic to make adjustments.
So the Golden Eagles will take a timeout. We'll take one as well. 5:30 left to go in this first half. Roncalli on the doorstep of their 4th score of the night on Indiana SRN.
You got a broken door, trapped car, you can't buy time.
We take it very seriously and take pride in being responsive.
We have all of Central Indiana covered from Martinsville,
Avon, up to Anderson,
to Cicero.
There's always somebody in your area.
It's important that we're able to get there, same day, because people's time is valuable.
On our trucks, we carry just about everything we need to fix a garage door right then and there.
Sunshine, rain, or snow, we're good to go.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student-athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student-athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Welcome back to Roncalli Stadium. 1st and 10 for Roncalli. It'll be a keeper, and it's snuffed out nicely there by the Golden Eagles.
Braden Hall with the tackle.
And left for the ball carrier.
Give credit to the senior.
He's brought down by number 25.
He was likely going to get whoever got that football, whether it was a quick handoff to Hebler or the keeper that Leffler tried. They had that scouted and ready. Handoff is to Hebler. He'll cut and walk his way into the end zone. His second touchdown of the night, the 4th on the game for Roncalli, and an extra point away from a 28-0 lead.
Unbelievable. His jump cut, you don't see that very much.
How often, Sean, do you have an opportunity as a running back to pick two lanes, a fork in the road of how you want to score?
Yeah.
He could have gone the edge like he did, or he could have gone straight through and walked in.
It's impressive.
Good snap, good hold, right down Broadway. For Luke Russell, he is 4 for 4 on point after tries this evening. Make it 12 of 13 on the year for the junior. Let's take one more look at that scamper by Hebler.
Just watch him as he goes and up and then over. Just as he's landing, he knows where he's going. I mean, that's not something that everybody can do. And Guerin Catholic, for Guerin Catholic, here's where the seniors exert their leadership.
Sure.
You're down 28-0, all right? The seniors have to show these younger guys, we're down 28-0, we're not giving an inch. Our attitude, our focus, and everything that we do, we are playing to the last whistle of this game, no matter what the score is. That's what these seniors have to do right now for Guerin Catholic, to pass that on to the juniors and sophomores as they build something with this young squad.
On top of that, though, at some point pride starts to set in.
Yes.
Regardless of the outcome of this game, are we rolling over and we're going to let Roncalli get us running clock
you don't want to
immediately the start of the third quarter, or are we going to have some life?
You don't want to be the LA Clippers.
Right, exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
5 plays, 47 yards, a minute and 15.
There are some Clippers faithful listening to this podcast that I'm happy with.
I apologize.
Right
sorry.
Including
it is what it is.
Including a man close to my heart, and I believe yours as well.
Yes. The
SID and voice of the Roncalli football team, Rob Brown, spent some time working for the Clippers. Has strong ties there.
Can't say that I'm too disappointed that Paul George is going home.
You and I both. You and I both. Under 5 to go in this first half. Decent return by the Golden Eagles. They'll set up shop from about their own 25. Have not had a drive start past midfield yet tonight.
No.
In fact, have not had a drive past the 35. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Golden Eagles. They'll spread out, and Miller will have Albert there in the backfield with him. Takes the snap, looks, quick slant. Pass is caught by Ryan Glenn.
Ryan Glenn. He's tackled by number 27.
That is a good start.
They've been very deliberate with those quick passes. Miller's not taking a lot of time in the pocket. He's making a decision right away.
I mean, in this case, you don't really have the choice.
Sure.
I mean, you've really got to get the ball out quickly and do your thing.
Gain of 7, bring up 2nd and 3. Miller takes the snap. Another quick pass that's near the marker. It'll be about a yard short. Caught by Elijah Edwards.
But here's the one thing you're hoping for if you're Guerin is, yes, these are short passes. We haven't seen a deep ball from Miller yet. But if you get the Roncalli DBs cheating up, maybe a little hitch and go can get you a big play and maybe get you 6 points on the scoreboard.
Hoping to do a little bait and switch. Reel him in. Rope-a-dope. Third and 1. Miller takes the snap. Hand off to Albert. First time we've seen him on this drive, and he's going to be short.
Man. I like the play call. Go to your horse, but
so the question is, Sean, this is further back than you were before. Are we still at a point in the ball game where we're just rolling the dice every time, or are we punting?
I think at this point, for your defense's sake, goodness, I don't know. That's why I'm not a coach. That's why I'm here.
I'm punting. But to me, I'm punting the ball.
Okay.
Defense.
I would probably end up making the same call, but it's a tough one.
Here's the issue, and Albert's a senior, so psychologically he doesn't have a problem here. And Guerin Cal's going to take a timeout to talk about this. We will stay here because I want to get to my next point.
Okay.
Now, if our wonderful producer Jerry Collins tells me to get out, then we'll still get out, but I have no authority here. That being said, I'm going to look at this from a psychological standpoint for a second. You run the ball with Albert on 4th and 1 last drive. Yeah. Does not get it.
Correct.
3rd and 3 here, you run with him. 3rd and 2, does not get it. He's a senior. It's not like he's one of the younger offensive linemen where you're worried about this. But you've had him stalled twice by this Roncalli defense. What does Roncalli think is coming on 3rd and 1? A run. What have they stopped you for on 2 straight short yardage plays?
Right.
So if you're going for it here, we're almost in the territory of give them something they're not expecting.
Yes. If you are going to go for it.
If we're going for it on our own 35.
Yeah.
And I'm saying we as a member of the coaching staff, not as a member of Guerin Catholic. At that point, everything has to be on the table. If you're going for it deep in your own territory, it's not just a simple run play. It could be anything.
Yes. And we'll see what happens here because it looks like they're going to go for it.
Heavy set package out there. And
did they get offsides?
Let's see. I didn't see Roncalli jump, but they're going to rule encroachment, it looks like. They will.
Got it. Wow.
So Guerin Catholic able to draw Roncalli and extend this drive. I didn't see a whole lot of movement there.
I barely saw something from the left end, and it was that side judge that made it as well.
Ooh. So Golden Eagles continue their drive. Man in motion is Edwards. Handoff to Albert. He tries to dance through and gains about 2, but give credit to this Roncalli defensive line because they have not given there's been a couple of big chunk gains, but few and far between by comparison to how Roncalli has dominated the trenches.
That is.
We'll step out. 2:52 left to go in this first half. All Roncalli. You're watching Golden Eagles, powered by Indiana SRN.
Faith in a company is extremely important, and Johnson Mello puts their money where their mouth is. In the past several years, we've, as a company, had tithed, which is pretty unheard of.
Things from donating equipment to churches, helping non-for-profits, helping wounded warriors, working with the Catholic community, the churches, a lot of people that may be even struggling that help daycares, help children come into this industry. So we do a lot of donations back to the community, but also our workers and our team also helps in those projects.
2nd and 8 for the Golden Eagles out of the timeout. They'll hand it off to Albert. He gets a little bit more space, but he's going to be thrown backwards. Initial gain is probably 2, maybe 3.
I love the fight. I love the fight in Albert.
He's not going to let himself be thrown down.
And he wasn't going to let the whistle stop either.
Nope.
The whistle is not stopping me from turning my legs.
Roncalli's going to take a timeout now. We'll stay here.
Quick update, halftime, just across the way. 17-14, Carmel up on Lawrence North. Only a field goal at halftime.
That was one of our games to watch out for tonight.
Also, Covenant Christian is up on Tinley 50-0. 50. That's 5-0, not 15.
Is that a halftime score or is that a...
Yes, that's a halftime score.
Well, we want to remind you of 2 things while we have a second. First, if you aren't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, what are you doing? There's more than 700 archived games on there, plus all of our live broadcasts as well. Go to youtube.com, search Indiana SRN, and click that red and white subscribe button. Of course, make sure notifications are on as well. Also, did you know Indiana SRN streams more than 300 games a year that reach millions? Yeah, did you know?
I know now.
Well, if you'd like to help out with that new information and put kids first by advertising on Indiana SRN or getting involved with any of our broadcasts, email coach@indianasrn.org.
And we've got the app now. That is so cool.
Innovation.
It's a wonderful thing.
2nd and 8 for the Golden Eagles. Miller low pass. That's going to be a broken tackle there by Edwards. He'll make some tacklers miss and make it 3rd and short.
That's a big play by Edwards because the difference between 3rd and 10 and 11 or it's 4th down. Oh, geez. Now there's that decision again.
Well, there's no decision. There's no decision.
You'd
the
rather
decision's over. You're going for it. If you're going for it on your own 35, you're going for it.
You'd rather be 4 yards than 11 yards. So
absolutely. The question is, though, with a 4th and 4, are we thinking about running the ball?
No, they're going to punt. Okay.
Forget my logic.
Well, looking at some of these
you said it earlier. That's why we're not
look
coaching
at some
for
of
a
these
reason.
scoring drives for Roncalli. They got plenty of time, that's for sure.
Low snap. High punt, though. Brown takes it at the 20. Cuts back, slips. Got some blockers. Spins out of another tackle to the 35 before he's finally thrown down. So Roncalli will have just over 90 seconds to work with at their own 35-yard line.
I thought his backside hit the ground, and that meant he was down.
Well, if the officials mark it where they have it, they would think that he got his hand underneath him.
Oh, they're pointing back. Yeah. I know my eyesight's bad, but it's not
anyway,
that bad.
It's a block in the back.
With the great technology we have here from Jerry Collins and Keith Myers, I mean, I don't know how anybody can miss that on the screen.
It's a fair point. As Sean alluded to, you can't see this, but in our Indiana SRN studios on the northeast side of Indianapolis, a phenomenal job that Jerry and Keith and the entire production crew have done all year long to make these remote broadcasts a possibility.
Got to give a shout out to our cameraman as well, whose name all of a sudden completely escapes my mind. Clay Rexroth. There we go.
Thank you, Clay.
Thank you so much, Clay.
In the gun is Loeffler. Takes the snap. Screen pass to Hebler. He'll get around the edge and make what for some would have been a 2-yard gain into a gain of about 6 or 7.
And he gets out of bounds. He's just a smart player.
So now 90 seconds even left to go in the half. Roncalli hoping to put together one more drive before halftime. Golden Eagles looking for a stop. Loeffler fires near the sideline. Broke it up. Good defense there by Daniel Rode, the senior. Bring up 3rd down. 3rd and 5 for Roncalli.
And with the distance you've got with punting them and putting them back against the wall, so to speak, they haven't ran it at all, which has so far been beneficial for Guerin Catholic.
Rolling is Loeffler. Blitz coming. He'll fire cross body and incomplete. So give credit to the Golden Eagles defense. That's a big time stop for you, and you're going to have a minute 19 to work with.
You only lost 18 seconds on the clock there, and you're going to get the ball back. You can't beat that.
Roncalli went with that one screen pass to Hebler and then went straight passing game the rest of the way as well.
Elijah Edwards to receive.
And I believe this is the first time we've seen John Troxell tonight.
It is. It is.
First punt for the senior. 2 punts for him on the year. A long of 31, averages about 25.5 yards per punt. And if that is the case on the average, it would give the Golden Eagles their best field position of the night.
It would. They could definitely use it here with what little time they have and no timeouts left.
Low snap. Punt is away, an end-over-ender that's going to take a Roncalli bounce. It'll be scooped up by Edwards, and he's going to be brought down at about midfield. So solid coverage there by Roncalli, but fortunately for the Golden Eagles, as we mentioned, their best field position of the night. First time they've started a drive at or near midfield. It'll be the 49-yard line.
Your passing game hasn't exactly been stretched or gone downfield, even second level with these passes. So they've really got to do something more down the field here with what time they've got and no timeouts to try and get any points on the board.
Miller in the gun. Albert there on his left hip. Roncalli shows blitz. Miller takes the snap. Quick pass picked off, and that's a pick six. Pick six for Owen Volk. He'll walk it into the end zone for a touchdown. Guerin Catholic had shown the screen and the quick pass so often tonight, and that time the senior had it snuffed out for 6.
Wow. He read that all the way, because that's all Guerin has done tonight with their passing game is those quick little bubble screens and quick outs. Volk had that read beautifully and just jumped right in front of it and had nothing but green turf in front of him. And there you go.
Setting up for the point after try is Luke Russell, the junior. 4 for 4 on the night so far. Good snap, good hold. Kick is good. Make him 5 for 5. Make him 13 of 14 on the year. 1:02 left to go, second quarter. We shall stay here. Roncalli leads it 35-0. One more look at that pick six by Volk.
You'll see him come off the edge there and just knows it's coming. Sheds his blocker. That's the key. He shed the blocker, and he had nothing but space right there. Just a great play by Volk.
His second interception of the season. Always a good feeling as a defender to take one house.
And that's a teachable moment if you're Guerin Catholic, is the ability to make sure that when you're making that block that they can't shed the block like that and have an opportunity for that play. You've got to make sure to keep him engaged so that at the very least he can just jump up and block it and not get two hands on it.
Be 1 minute and 2 left to work with for Guerin Catholic. Be interesting to see how aggressive they are. They do get the ball. Roncalli gets the ball to start the second half. They did defer. So
yes. And with the mercy rule in effect, the second half will have a running clock.
Barring a touchdown drive here
right.
by the Golden Eagles.
Or a kickoff run back.
That's a good point as well. Taken by Nickel, and he's swallowed up at the 15. That's where the drive will start for Guerin Catholic. We didn't mention this either. It's such an unfortunate factor for the Golden Eagles, but we talked about it. Their first drive at midfield was pick six. The best starting field position they've had tonight.
Yeah.
And it has the most unfavorable outcome the offense has had tonight.
And you know you have such little time on the clock, and yet I don't know what – you would like to think they have enough faith in Miller to be able to get it 8, 10, 12, 15 yards down the field. But – the offense that you've ran tonight just played right into Volk's hands right there in terms of the passing game. So now, what are they going to do here? Are they just going to run it to run out the clock, or are they going to try and stretch it a little bit?
Miller has the receiver spread out. He'll hand off to Albert. Albert tried to break a couple tackles, but he's swallowed up again.
We can honestly call Sinovic's name on every play.
Of course, Sean referencing there, Sean Sinovic, the senior.
He spells it differently, just saying.
He does. It's a good point.
Yeah. You were that beast linebacker when you were at Roncalli, but you decided, no, I want to go for the broadcasting glory.
That, and I had the muscle definition of linguine. That doesn't do much for you there, Sean.
Does that come from eating too much linguine?
I don't know.
Okay.
Scientists are still struggling with it to this day.
Gotcha.
Handoff is to Albert. He's going to get the edge here, and he'll be thrown up in the air, bullying his way, flying his way for other games.
Here's the score for you. Number 1, Mount Vernon against number 8, Delta. Halftime, Mount Vernon's up 28-0 at Delta. After taking down New Pal last
That's a flex of the muscles right there.
It is. I'm telling you, they're a favorite for the 4A title this year.
End of the first half. All Roncalli in this one. We'll stay here for a minute. Roncalli leads at 35-0, and as Sean mentioned, that means the IHSAA mercy rule adopted a few years back will be in effect in the second half. So that'll be running clock throughout. It'll stop for timeouts, injuries, and scores.
Do you realize what the score at the end of the first quarter was? It was 7-0. Yeah.
28 points scored in that second quarter for Roncalli.
Yes. And it didn't. And I think the bigger key is that they just scored so quickly. You're looking at a couple of drives that we've got here that are 3 drives in 2 minutes, and then there's the pick 6.
Well, and for context's sake, for Guerin Catholic, because getting 28 dropped onto you in the second quarter is not a good feeling, but it should be noted, for context's sake, that the start of the second quarter had Roncalli inside, I believe, the Guerin Catholic 15. So they were a play away from scoring, just the clock got away from you there. But still,
yes,
stats for the stats. 28 on you in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Not much you can do there.
And Roncalli is a very good football team, by the way, whose season was ended last year by Mount Vernon in regional.
There you go. We're going to step away. More after this. Roncalli on top, 35-0 at the break. You're watching Golden Eagles football, powered by Indiana SRN.
Hey folks, good to be with you for tonight's game. My name is Andy Simpson, and I'm a licensed IHSAA football official, and welcome to Friday Night Football, powered by Indiana SRN. On behalf of the 340 football officials, the IHSAA, the crew here at Indiana SRN, we hope you enjoyed tonight's game, and more important, don't forget to subscribe to the Indiana SRN YouTube page. As you're watching tonight's contest, I'm going to show you a few of our signals that will help you better understand the information we are trying to convey. Touchdown, safety, first down, holding or illegal use of hands, encroachment, or offsides commonly known, false start or illegal formation on the offense, or a free kick scrimmage violation, face mask, intentional grounding, roughing the passer, clipping, illegal shift, illegal motion, illegal block, pass interference by the offense or the defense, delay of game, and the one signal we dislike and you as fans don't like seeing, unsporting. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight and following us on Indiana SRN. You can also tune in to the Football Weekly Show and Coach's Show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on IndianaSRN.org. Finally, if you've ever thought about becoming an IHSAA official, www.ihsaa.org and click on the Officials tab or call the IHSAA office at 317-846-6601. Now, sit back and enjoy the game.
Welcome back to Bob Tolley Field at Roncalli Stadium. Halftime, all Roncalli. They lead at 35-0 over the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles. Jimmy Cook alongside, well, not Sean Kroll, it's the coach, Keith Myers. Coach, how are you doing tonight?
You know, I'm playing vice president today. It's my night off, so I decided to go to Zionsville Middle School West and see what's going on there. It was swung around 465. Was going to head to Delta, but I heard there was pizza in the studio, so I beeline right back here and watch you guys play.
I would have thought that on a night off, you'd be treating the fantastic Debbie Myers to a night on town. I didn't know you'd be back in the trenches.
My wife has dinner plans for me tomorrow night after the soccer game, so
there you go.
I'm producing tomorrow. So, folks, if you're going to listen, you're going to watch the Guerin Catholic Evansville Memorial game, number 6 versus number 9. Please don't be kind to the producer. A great matchup tomorrow night for girls soccer. Evans Memorial, the defending state champions, taking on Guerin Catholic. Going to be a great game.
Plenty of action across the entire Indiana SRN family of networks, though. You haven't been running around for no reason. There's been plenty of setup tonight across the family of networks with football, and then you already mentioned a great soccer slate tomorrow as well, and then still volleyball next week also.
Yeah, how about the pitchers? The camera guys, it took us 3 weeks probably to get the bugs out, but I think the bugs are completely out, and great sights, and my hat's off to our CEO. Jerry Collins has done nothing but work, and this morning got up at 3 o'clock this morning just to make sure everything's check and balances, and that's who we are. We want to put good quality programming on our network so you as a fan can watch your son, daughter play, and if you like to advertise for us, we would love you to help and be part of that. There's a donate button on the screen tonight that you can click, or if you would like to contact me at coach@indianasrn.org, you can do that as well. You talk about big games. Number one, Heritage Christian in volleyball, dominating 2A, played Decatur Central last night, won another game. They're 16-0, Jimmy. They have not gone more than 4 matches all year long. Incredible. We have them next week against Chittard. Big game on Tuesday, Guerin Catholic taking on Covenant Christian. That is for some bragging rights for the conference. Both of those teams are struggling at the bottom, but both teams playing very, very well. And then next week, Bloomington South Southport, Covenant Christian, Heritage Christian, big game. Frontier North Newton. How about the Frontier Falcons? 4-1, playing very well. Mount Vernon, who's winning tonight, playing Pendleton Heights. Traders Point goes out to Lapel, and that's going to be a contest for you. And then volleyball next Saturday in the ICST, the Christian League. Traders Point taking on Horizon Christian. That is a seeding game, so that's a real important game, and we don't want to forget that other association, the Indiana Christian State Tournament. We've been involved with them and nationally for quite a long time. Love the partnership with the Champions Network, and lots of people watching this thing tonight. And rival game, Roncalli up 35-0, but this is not over. I know the running clock and all those things. So Guerin has a lot of pride. You know Tom Dilley as well as I do. Mm-hmm. He'll have something in store for them.
Additionally, for those that are wanting to get involved, you mentioned the donate button, but of course they're wanting to advertise or maybe recommend a new school to be put on the air.
Yeah, just contact me, coach@indianasrn.org. 140 basketball games so far, Jimmy, and we got 45 more to put on. So well over, I think we'll be well over 200. You better get your throat set, and Sean better be ready to go because we're going to be busy basketball-wise.
I got the tea and honey ready for a busy basketball season.
I think you should.
That's the Coach Keith Myers. He'll have scores for you a little bit later in our halftime break. We're going to step away briefly. Roncalli on top of Guerin Catholic, 35-0 at the intermission. Don't go anywhere. More football after this. You're watching Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles football, powered by Indiana SRN.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
I think the best thing that our ministry offers is that when the women come in and they are pregnant and they've reached our scan dates, which are 6 weeks, 4 days to 14 weeks, we're able to image them with ultrasound.
Seeing the image on the screen and hearing a heartbeat clarifies that it is truly life and not just a clump of cells.
You can see babies sucking their thumbs. You can see them running their hands over their head.
It shows them what God is doing on the inside that they don't feel or don't even think is real, but they see a real image of a real baby on the screen.
It just breaks my heart when a woman, no matter what her circumstances are, that she decides to end that intrauterine pregnancy, that she decides that she's better to go on her own without that baby.
Life comes at you fast, so it's important to have some help along the way.
Ah, my favorite patient. Ah, my favorite patient.
When the dust settles, it doesn't always end as anticipated. Embrace the journey and care for the ones around you.
My favorite patient.
For everything else and every stage in between,
my favorite patient.
Methodist Sports Medicine is here for you.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake. Yeah.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got a counter right here. Isn't this where you place the orders?
We sell trophies, we sell plaques, we do embroidery. No food.
You got carry out?
Unlike the internet, everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
You know, Jim, I'll be back tomorrow to pick it all up.
We'll wait for you.
Don't wait long.
Parents, do you like free food? Hike it on over to Prodigy Burger and Bar, where Monday is family night and kids eat free. Every day you can find daily specials featuring craft burgers, tacos, wings, and more. Prodigy is now playing the NFL Sunday Ticket on more than 25 TVs, so you won't miss a second of your favorite teams. Prodigy also caters, hosts private events, as well as dine and donates. Celebrate your school spirit with us at Prodigy Burger and Bar. More than just burgers, located in Clay Terrace in Carmel.
Welcome back, everybody, as Jimmy and Sean is heading to the lounge to get some pizza. We have some halftime scores for you. I'm Keith Myers. Thank you very much for listening and watching tonight's game. Roncalli leads at halftime 35-0 over Guerin Catholic. Let's look at other scores. Hamilton Southeastern Westfield 14-3 Westfield at the end of the third quarter. Centerville leads Tri 48-13. Eastern leads Carroll County 52-0. In the third quarter. How about this one? Fairfield 69, Woodland 0. Woodland has not scored in 4 weeks. Delphi 21, Tri Central 7. Brownsburg 42, number 1 team in the state, taking on Fisher 6. Lewis Cass leads Northwestern 15-0. Southwood and Wabash, Southwood leads 35-0. Noblesville and Zionsville. Zionsville leads 24-3. Jeffersonville and Floyd Central. Floyd Central leads 38-3. Western and Hamilton Heights 12-6 Western. Warsaw and Northridge 20-7 Warsaw. Seeger Memorial taking on Covenant Trojans 43-14. That is in the fourth quarter. Xavier of Ohio leads Cathedral 18-15. That is in the third quarter. Moravia and Speedway. This is for a title shot of the conference, 14-14. West Vigo and Brown County. Brown County scores late at halftime, makes it 8-0. Marion leads Richmond 26-0. McCutcheon 20, Logansport 0. Shenandoah 35, Westdale 6. And we'll take a break. We'll come back. You're watching Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the Indiana SRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back. It is halftime to score 35-0 Guerin Catholic and Roncalli. Jimmy, have you got the app?
No, I don't. I'm not going to lie. No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
You know, it's easy to do. It's pretty easy to do. All you got to do is get onto your iPhone, click onto the app here, and look at that beautiful picture.
Oh, that's lovely.
Every game you want to see, SRN has. You can even click, and you can watch it live. The one thing I like about it is I can open another screen, and I can tweet to people I'm watching, and I can screen save it. It's really kind of handy.
Do you know the beauty of this? With my ignorance here, this is a genuine reaction of how excited I am for that Indiana SRN app. That's lovely.
You know, you're not the only one that's really not good at technology.
Make it to
Jerry
the game.
made me go
We've
and
got
do
your
a couple
back.
things.
Just go to
as we're watching the app here. Jerry made me do a couple things
and
technology
tune into all of the live
like set up
action,
cameras
or go to
today.
our on-demand service
Jimmy,
and relive your favorite
took
moments.
me an hour.
You're here, though.
He had a quarter pounder with cheese, French fries, and a Coke.
And entertainment.
Waiting for. Oh, yeah, he was having a good time because he says, nope, that's not it. Try again. So I feel your pain, Jimmy.
Well, the Indiana SRN app is we're going to get the copy team in the new write-ups. Not only can you get all the action and information on indianasrn.org or on our YouTube page, but also through the Indiana SRN app.
Also, real quick before I let you go, there was a young man in North Carolina, I do believe, Tennessee, who needs his prayer, got hit with a tackle, is temporarily paralyzed. He has had some movement with his legs. Talked to Coach Guy about that yesterday. So we're praying for him, keep him, and, you know, we get to see so many people and so many kids watch football and play every Friday night. Just lots of prayer out to him.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. Prayers to him. We'll step away and come back with more after this. You're watching high school football on Indiana SRN. Welcome back to Bob Tolley Field at Roncalli Stadium. Jimmy Cook alongside Sean Kroll. Halftime still in its latter stages. Roncalli on top of the Golden Eagles of Guerin Catholic, 35-0. We touched on it briefly in our pregame show, but let's take a look at some of our homework we do here at Indiana SRN. That, of course, the Sagarin ratings coming in to tonight's festivities across the state of Indiana.
Yeah, the SRN polls are powered by Sagarin. Thanks very much to Jeff Sagarin. 6A, you've got Brownsburg number 1, Center Grove 2, LN number 3 in a close game with Carmel. Warren Central 4 and Hamilton Southeastern 5, who's down at Westfield. 5A, Cathedral, one of the better teams in the state. Number 2, New Pal. 3, Michigan City. 4, Valpo. 5, Lafayette Harrison. In 4A, number 1, Mooresville. 2, East Noble. 3, Hobart. 4, East Central. And 5, Mount Vernon, a client of Indiana SRN. 3A, number 1, Circle City Conference foe here, Chatard. Fort Wayne Concordia 2, West Lafayette 3, Danville 4, and another Circle City opponent, Brebeuf, at 5. In 2A, we've got Pioneer 1, Eastbrook 2, Triton Central, very good ball club, at 3, and Drain at 4, and South Vermilion 5. And rounding it out, in 1A, number 1, the Lutheran Saints, 2, South Putnam, 3, South Adams, 4, Southwood. It's the directional polls here. And number 5, West Washington, as always, powered by Jeff Sagarin. Thank you so much for those polls, the Indiana SRN polls.
Always good to get a feel of the Indiana SRN polls. Speaking of getting a feel on where things are at, particularly with the Golden Eagles of Guerin Catholic, a 35-point hole right now. There were definitely some bright spots for them, particularly on the running game side of things. You can tell this is a dominant group, particularly that of Jagger Albert, but just the better team tonight has been the defensive efforts of Roncalli winning those battles and basically taking the running game out of the equation for the Golden Eagles.
They have. And we discussed, the youth on the front line, the offensive line for Guerin Catholic, where it's, 3 sophomores and 2 juniors. And you look on the opposite side, Roncalli starts 5 seniors on their offensive line. That makes an absolutely tremendous amount of difference in how they work, because those seniors have been around and been through the program. They know the offense they run. Even though they're with a new coach, they understand the fundamentals necessary. Sophomores are still kind of coming into their bodies as young men, and so it's a tough task for them to take on that. And you also look, one of the things we talked about was the linebackers of Roncalli. Sinovic and Garrett, they're both juniors, for crying out loud. Whereas for Guerin Catholic, they're still a very young team. Their defensive line is all seniors, but they still have 5 juniors and 2 sophomores on the defensive side of the ball. So they're going to return a lot of guys. This is going to be one that they're going to notch in the memory banks. And next year and the year after that, they're going to remember, hey, Roncalli did this to us the last 2 years. We've got to take that step one of these days and slay the giant, and it will eventually happen for them.
Tonight, though, doesn't seem like it's tonight.
There's
still a whole half of football left to play.
But I think, too, if you're the coaching staff of Guerin Catholic, what you're doing is you're looking for glimpses of fight, of hope, of guys that okay, these are the guys we want to work with because we see what they're doing right now in this situation.
And on top of that, to build off of your point, this is a 0-0 game right now. Why I say that is you did not get an opportunity to get your same reps that you wanted to due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Right.
Guerin Catholic has played 2 games so far out of a possible, 5, 6, 5, 4?
Is that right? This is week 5 or week 6? I thought it was
week 4. So you could have had 4 games. They've had half of that.
Yes.
You're not going to find extra places to get game reps.
No.
You might be down 35-0 right now, but your goal is bigger than this game tonight. Your goal is to make a little bit of noise come postseason. Sure, maybe your conference title hopes are dashed tonight, but you could still make noise in the sectional. That starts right now.
Yes. Yeah, 100% does. And it's a cliche to say it's 0-0, but it really is. And you want to win a quarter or the half to really build momentum as you go along through the year.
And these are real-world prep situations right now for the rest of your schedule. Granted, you've been gutted with a 35-0 hole to climb out of. However, this is as tough of competition, at least defensively, taking away your best asset in your running game. There's no better way to get those experiences that are going to help you down the line in your push for the postseason than taking advantage of the moment right now as it is.
Yeah, and giving kids that have shown in practice that maybe they're ready to take the next step. Okay, here's your shot. Let's see what you've got on this stage right here in this game against this number 1 offense.
A little quick pitch up the side there by Kyle Lockard on the quick pass.
Because if you come in now from Guerin Catholic and you're a guy that's on the fringe and you're getting playing time against the first team offense of Roncalli and you show them something, that's huge for them coming down the rest of the year in terms of their schedule.
That's a good point. Sends a man in motion. Leffler fires, sideline, has a man, incomplete, overthrew his intended receiver. He was looking to go down the sideline with Cole Beckman, bring up 3rd and short.
Good coverage there by Daniel Rohde. He was with him step for step, and we know that he was a preseason small school top 22 recruit, and he's shown some things defensively tonight for them in terms of coverage and in making some tackles.
Yeah, Leffler overthrew it just a tad as well, but great coverage there by the Golden Eagles. 3rd and 4 from their own 29-yard line. Leffler in the gun, has Hebler there with him. We'll hand off to Hebler. He'll dance back and has some space. The first down and more, trucks a man near midfield. Mark him down at the 42-yard line of Roncalli.
I continue to be impressed by his lateral movement. A lot of people call it shiftiness, but his ability to shift gears and shift directions on a dime has been incredibly impressive to me tonight.
Again, a friendly reminder in case this is your first time watching a high school broadcast, the chains no longer cause the clock to stop. The clock will continue to run, except for timeouts, scores, and injuries, with running clock being in effect. That's the mercy rule the IHSAA established a couple years back. Anytime there is a 35-point lead in the second half, even if it is to start the second half, running clock will be in effect the rest of the way, even if it goes under that threshold.
It has been in one of our other Indiana SRN games. Covenant Christian is up on Tinley 57-0 in the third quarter. Well, it probably is the fourth quarter now with the running clock.
Right, exactly. Roncalli gets the play call from the sidelines. Great game plan established tonight by Coach Rodenberg and offense coordinator Kevin Bonich. Leffler, hands off to Hebler, cuts it back, continues to break tackles. He's putting on a rushing clinic tonight. Give credit to the offensive line of Roncalli as well. A sophomore, 3 sophomores and a junior. So we talked about the offensive line play of Guerin Catholic being young. This is very much a youth movement as well for the starters of Roncalli. Wide receivers bunched out on either side. Hebler in the backfield there with Leffler. He'll hand off to Hebler. He's swallowed up. Great effort there by the Golden Eagles defensive line to get through the trenches and cause the stop. No gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. First time tonight we've really seen Guerin Catholic truly flex their muscles there as Hebler tried to get to the first level, or get past the first level. They locked him up right there.
And again, those are steps in the right direction, even though that Roncalli's on their side of the field right now.
Leffler airs it out, has a man over the fingertips of Kyle Lockard.
Well, that's 2 he's just missed. And Guerin, if this is in the first half, you're loving that because you could take advantage of those mistakes and turn it into field position. But at this point, you're just breathing a sigh of relief.
And we talked about the advantages for Guerin Catholic of getting live game reps. Well, for Roncalli, you're fully opening the playbook right now because maybe you're more hesitant to make a play like that on 2nd and 10 and just hand the ball off. Now you're getting 2 chances to go through the air to pick up a first down, and they do just there, as that's Lucas Erickson with his first reception on the night.
And here's where I struggle, because people will say they're running up the score. They're not. They're giving kids who don't get normally a chance to play, like this young man, number 10, a chance to go out and make plays against the first unit defense in Guerin Catholic. You've heard lots of schools, Cathedral, New Pal, all those, get ripped on by people for doing this. This is not what they're doing. They're giving these kids a chance to play.
Also, and we'll wait as Leffler throws crossbody on the run. Is that caught? It is for the touchdown. Give the touchdown reception right there to Roncalli. Kyle Lockard with the touchdown reception. Deep in the far corner. Sliding on the turf.
A throw on the run and a diving catch in the end zone. And you've got to imagine that's it for the Roncalli starters.
To my point, though, that I was going to mention as we wait for this Luke Russell kick, and this is no disrespect to the Golden Eagles whatsoever. You mentioned people say, they'll run up the score. There's a running clock in play. I get it, leaving the starters out there for a long period of time. Maybe there's criticism there. But if the second unit is doing it to you, stop them. If you don't want them to score anymore, stop them. Make a play.
No, that was Leffler to Lockard, who are both first-teamers. But as we'll see, some of the other people are second-teamers.
He's rolling out to his right and has to make a cross-body throw.
Absolutely. And the other receivers are second-teamers. Backup running back, and look at that catch, just right on the fingertips, and it's stuck in. Max Nickel. And there's not much you can do on that when it's just an absolutely perfect throw.
Really solid coverage by the safety and Nickel. You're exactly right. There's nothing else you can do there. Maybe you could nitpick a couple things that could be done. For the most part, that's a great play made by this Roncalli offense, and Again, I don't know. I'm always on the other side of the fence, and maybe it's because I myself am not yet a parent.
Maybe I didn't express myself.
I'm
on the same side.
I figured you were too. Yeah. But I just mean, there is a segment of the population. For years, you heard it with New Pal, and I'm just looking at like, stop them.
Yeah.
You don't want them to score. Keep them out of the end zone.
If your first-team defense can't stop a second-team offense, I mean, whose fault is that?
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson did that for years at University of Miami.
Right.
And he's like,
exactly.
Stop us. I'm not gonna put my second unit in to not run the offense. These kids get a chance to play. Let them play. And so, maybe this is an opportunity for Guerin Catholic to give those second unit kids some reps too, and get themselves a varsity letter. I mean, how cool is that, right?
It's great special teams play there by Johnny Roeder.
Coming from someone who never got a varsity sports letter in high school.
Sure.
I mean, how cool would that be to have that varsity letter?
No doubt.
First and 10, Golden Eagles at the 25-yard line.
So Sam Miller will trot back out there. Guerin Catholic.
I want to see them
throw down some points on the board.
I want to see him throw down the field further. I want to see him get in that second tier with his throws. Let's see what he's got.
Miller takes the snap, screen pass to Albert. He'll try to get around the edge, and he's got a little bit of space to the 30. Knocked out of bounds at the 35. Jagger Albert there.
Nice job getting around the corner, getting the blocks from the receivers, but again, I want to see some bigger chunks of yardage.
That play's good for a first down.
Oh, have we got a game for you next week, folks? We're going to have two top 5 teams, one in 1A and one in 2A. 5-0 Covenant Christian and Heritage Christian at 4-0. That is the game of the week.
I believe the old adage, as the keeper here by Miller, as he's swallowed up, is an unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
You know the first time I heard that?
Dark Knight.
No, I did not. Wow.
I'm not sure.
No. Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3.
There you go. Good on you.
Good old Gorilla Monsoon.
And it's been thrown around ever since.
It has been. Occipital protuberance. I loved Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura. They were great.
All-time greats there.
Oh, yeah.
4 minutes to go in this third quarter. Miller takes the snap.
That was better.
A high, quick pass that's received by Edwards. Gain of about 6.
That wasn't yardage-wise far down the field, but that's a good throw by Miller. That's a decent long throw for him. Now let's try and maybe get something in the slot up the seam and see what he can do with it.
They'll call it 3rd and 4 officially.
How cool is it to see Joe Buck find out he's going to be in the Hall of Fame during halftime? That was very cool.
Special.
I'm a Joe Buck fan.
I have a love-hate relationship with the guy. That being said, for everything he's achieved in his career, to be able to get that honor and join his dad there is
here
really
we
special.
go.
Here's a run by Albert. Cross midfield. First time we've seen the Eagles cross midfield tonight.
Now, if I was coaching, that was something I would say, young man, I love you, Jagger, but we're down 35. Don't get up and signal that you just got a first down. Just hand the ball to the referee and go back to the huddle.
See, this is where you and I will deviate, because I'm like, you know what? Whatever.
But
it's been a rough night. You need something to keep you going.
But I grew up watching Walter Payton, where my dad's like, watch when he scores. He hands the ball to the ref. That's the way you do it.
Fair.
But I'm old, too.
That you are.
Thank you.
Hand off to Albert. He'll get around the edge and cut it upfield for a gain of about 6. You're not that old.
52. I like what they're doing in the running game here in the second half. They're getting him a little bit more outside.
Sure.
With their blocking schemes, and he's looked pretty good.
And I think coming in, you and I both would have agreed, the talent of Albert was never in question.
No.
The only thing that might have been in question was how is this young offensive line going to do against a relatively seasoned Roncalli defense?
And
it's a tough measuring stick. This is not to say as that looked like it was going to be nothing, and now we're close to a first down marker, all done by the legs of the senior Jagger Albert. This is not a knock whatsoever on Guerin Catholic. This is just observing the fact this is a Roncalli team that might be a step or two above where you're at. One would think so, given the fact they're a class above. You're going to have more talent to work with, more opportunities to work with your enrollment. But this is also a testament to where the Golden Eagles would like to be on their best day.
Yes, and the fact
and where they want to get.
Right. And the fact that we talked about it in the pregame, you lost 3 key offensive players to graduation last year that were starters for quite a few years.
It's hard to replace points
very
right
hard.
from the jump. It
very
takes time.
hard. Yes. As college coaches, it's the same thing. You get those losses to graduation and going to the NFL. It's not everybody is in Alabama where you can just keep plugging people in. It's hard to do.
Not every school, particularly at this level, is going to have a revolving door of talent to work with.
No, not at all.
Final seconds of this third quarter.
Put some points on the board now. We got some
It'll
confusion.
be very nice to see by the Golden Eagles. It'll be Glenn late there on the bottom of your screen. Miller, low snap. He'll keep it himself, tries to catch the defense napping. They had it snuffed out immediately. Maybe a gain of a yard.
Some improvisation would have been good there, because I know the play calls for him to run there, but if he'd maybe just tried to cut it left and go outside, like what Hebler does, that's one of the things I think is impressive about Hebler. It's not just his shiftiness, it's his vision to be able to see where he needs to go to get there.
Sure.
And so that just comes with reps for Miller.
Two wide receivers at the top of your screen. Final play of this third quarter. Low snap. Miller keeps it himself, cuts it back. Nice move. He's met by a trio of Roncalli football team members at the end of that third quarter of play. We'll take a break as well. All Roncalli 42-0, but the Golden Eagles are driving on Indiana SRN.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the Indiana SRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field at Roncalli Stadium. Start of the fourth quarter. All Roncalli football team. They lead the Golden Eagles of Guerin Catholic 42-0. Should be noted, though, it is Golden Eagles football. Be a fourth down. And about 4. Miller takes the snap. Quick pass. Caught.
Oh.
And they'll pick up a first down. Elijah Edwards made that play into something. I believe that's going to move the chains. And that's the positivity you wanted for this Golden Eagles offense.
Boy, when he caught it, you didn't think that Edwards was going to have much room, but he made room from it, which was fantastic of him to be able to do great play by the wide receiver.
Fresh set of downs from the 25-yard line of Roncalli. Miller in the gun. Hands off to Albert. Cuts it back. Gains about 5. Shoestring tackle there. Made by Johnny Rader, the junior.
You want a surprise?
Always like surprises.
5:59 to go in the, I think it's the fourth of the third quarter because their tweets are messed up. New Palestine 6, Pendleton Heights 3.
Wow.
Yes.
Very, very interesting.
Yes. You want to talk about losing people? Holy smokes.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Quick out. Again, that time to Edwards, and he's swallowed up by the Roncalli defense.
Elephant in the room. I live in New Palestine. My sons go to New Palestine High School.
There you go.
You lose three D1 guys. I mean,
we talked about trying to replace scoring.
Yes.
Or trying to replace assets in general.
Charlie Spiegel, Kyle King, Max and Hook, pretty good guys there.
I have two soon-to-be cousin-in-laws that were both quarterbacks at Roncalli.
Oh.
Zach and Alex Neely.
Oh, the Neely, yeah.
Yep. My fiance's
both
cousins.
State championships?
Both state champions,
yeah.
Yep. Miller fires. That's batted down the line.
See, but that's the throw I want to see him make.
Exactly. We wanted to see it go downfield.
Go down the field, yes.
That was just a great play with the Roncalli defense.
Yeah, that is true. But I love the fact that they're taking shots.
That's all you can ask for at this point. With where you're at right now, yes, the running game is nice. Yes, the running game is there. You've got nothing to lose at this point in time.
Zero.
Find out what you have against still a quality defense in your passing game.
Yes. Show us what you got, Mr. Miller.
It'll be 4th and 6. Been riverboat territory all night long for the Golden Eagles. No surprise here. Got to go for it. Miller in the gun. Drops back. Fires with pressure. Has a man. Incomplete. Just over the outstretched arm of Max McGreal. Rebel defense holds, but I will say this, Sean. That was not a bad look. He overthrew him, but it was a great look downfield.
I like the fact that if the play's not going to be made, that he overthrew them, because now he's got the arm to get that far downfield.
And he has to get rid of the ball there because the pocket's collapsing on him. He felt the pressure, still stayed in there, made the throw. Just overshot him a bit.
He even took a couple of steps to his left, set up again and threw. That stuff, when you go back on the film and look at, you're going to be pleased
you can work with it
if you're Dilly, yes.
100%. Michael Gallagher on the carry there, as we see some of the second unit mixed in there for Roncalli. Caden Gore, the fellow junior, in there now at quarterback. 8:15 left to go in this one. Gore changing some things to the line. Low snap. He'll keep it himself. Cuts it to the 30 and swung around to about the 34-yard line.
As we said earlier, upcoming schedule for Guerin Catholic. Next week, they're at No Rest for the Weary at Bishop Chittard. On October 2nd, they're home against Northview. The 10th, they currently have an open date. That may change. And then on October 16th, they host Culver Academy.
Still a lot of meat on that schedule.
A lot of meat on that schedule.
7.5 to go. Gore in the gun. Hands off to Gallagher, and he'll be pushed back.
Nice job by McGreal with the penetration, causing him to stutter step and letting the rest of his fellow teammates come in and make the stop.
Nothing but good marks there. Bring up 2nd and 9.
2nd down and 9.
For Roncalli, we mentioned that next up for them will be what they have left of their conference title hopes. They would need to win against Brebeuf, and then they would need Bishop Chittard to lose to Guerin Catholic.
Or Brebeuf.
They might need to lose both games because I would think the tiebreak would be head-to-head first.
That's
and
true.
Roncalli lost to Guerin Catholic. So you're going to need some noise to be made, as that is a brutal hit there by the Guerin Catholic defense, holding strong on that tackle.
They have shown fight. They have shown that they're willing to. And if I'm a coach, I love this. Stick your nose. You're getting your head handed to you, but you're sticking your nose in and you're not giving an inch.
Because that is the answer you have to have, particularly against the second unit. Because as a coach, you're like, okay, where's your heart? What's going to happen right now? This is the second unit. You're going to let them run all over you? No. Yeah. You're going to answer the call and you're going to make some stops.
It's pride.
It's done that so far. Gore, slant route. Tried to find his intended receiver. Could not, though. Overshot him, 4th down, and we might see for the second time tonight John Troxell.
And I think that's one of the things that motivates men to become coaches is the ability to see what it is that motivates and causes young high schoolers. What can I process in them? What is it that I can flip that switch to make them understand what they have to do not necessarily to win, but to better themselves in every facet.
Sure. You're going to, as that's a bobbled snap there by Roxell. He's going to try to get this away, and great special teams coverage by Guerin Catholic. Now this is their best field position they started tonight.
This is. You've got to get points now on the board. And again, you want to get the money that folds and not the money that jingles, but you'll take anything at this point.
Take one more look at this. Just a low snap, and unable to get all of it was Troxell.
He didn't look like he hit the ground. It looked like he just kind of...
I thought it landed on the ground. Like he had trapped it, and then he tried to pick it up and lost it.
Javi Baez would have picked that clean and punted it right away. So
there you go.
Had to throw the baseball reference in there.
I understand. Gary Sanchez would have let that gone behind him. That's fine.
By far,
Not a big deal.
2 runs would have scored.
Jack McGowan there
Backup
for the Golden Eagles.
Jack McGowan's pass intended for number 20.
You were ahead of me. I didn't. Sorry. I should let you cook.
That's all right. That's okay. It's all right. But as Sean and I mentioned there, Jack McGowan, the sophomore backup quarterback in there for the Golden Eagles. Trying to get their first points of the night.
And I like that he's leaving his first team specialty players, his running backs and his wide receivers with the backup quarterback to see what he can do.
McGowan takes a shot, end zone, incomplete. Good look there, intended for Edwards. Nice defensive breakup that time by Ryan Henry.
I honestly would say that's a good throw because he threw that to the point where only his guy could get it. It's not going to get picked off. Now, did he mean to do that? Who knows? But still, when you're going back and watching film, you're saying, okay, you put that in a spot where only our guy can get it. So you're making the throw downfield, but you're not risking a turnover. The percentage of getting a turnover is very, very low.
3rd and 10. 2 wide receivers at the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom right. McGowan takes the snap, fires, little screen action to the 10, to the 5. Hooking up there with Bennett, side and sticker.
Good thing they don't have their names on the back of their jerseys. His might have cost a lot of money.
Some extra dollars having to be rolled out there.
Well, there's a couple here on Roncalli's side too. We talked about pregame as well.
It'll be 4th and 3. 2 wide receivers at the top, 1 at the bottom right. McGowan hands it off. And it's met by the Roncalli defense. Once again, Roncalli holds. It'll be a turnover on downs with 2.5 to go.
Nice job there by Joe Curd on that play. Man, oh man. I know you're down there close and you hadn't run it all night, but you tried to give it to your main guy. But goodness, man, I would have loved to see him try and sling it again.
With how much you had that portion of the Roncalli defensive unit, I believe we established it was a mix of a couple starters still there for the most part, second unit guys. You had them on their heels with the way you were attacking offensively in the passing game. I understand the move there, but that's tough with how stout this Roncalli defense has been.
I've always been one of those guys that's looked at some of these smaller schools that don't have a lot of size, and they liked like a North Central Farmersburg or people like that where they pack it in and try and run the option. I feel like if you're smaller, utilize your speed and just spread everybody out and run the chuck and duck offense and just sling it.
Sure.
Give yourself, just make it fun. Not that this isn't fun, but
right.
I mean, let's take a crack at it and see what we can do and go up. The old Houston Cougars, with Andre Ware. Let's let it go.
3rd and 1 for the Rebels.
Did I tell you I met him once?
No, you did not.
Yes, I get the wonderful privilege of working for Houston Texans radio a couple of years ago when they were here in town.
Really?
And he's the radio guy, and he was stunned that every team makes it to the football playoffs. He's like, every school makes it? And we're like, yes. He's like, that's unbelievable. How does that happen? I said, well, we're not nearly as big as Texas, Andre, so, that does make a difference.
Final minute of this 4th quarter. Roncalli's going to improve to 3-1 on the year. Golden Eagles will fall to 1-2.
By the way, J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney, large human beings.
They are.
Large.
Still can't stop my Chiefs offense for anything.
Yeah. But not as who was the guy for the Colts that was the foreign guy? He's not with them anymore. He was a defensive lineman, 92 I think was his number.
I got no number for you there, sorry.
He was huge too.
Final seconds of this fourth quarter, and that is going to do it. Put this one in the cooler. Roncalli flexes their muscles tonight. They win their 5th straight in this series, yet to lose since it started in 2016. And for the second time in this series, the matchup will not be decided by 10 points or fewer. So often early on had these been close contests. Tonight it's all Roncalli. They defeat the Golden Eagles 42-0.
And the air handshake is teams' procedures with the COVID pandemic in place, and they run to the sidelines. You know, I'm a huge proponent of, you know, like the Army-Navy game, one of my favorite games of all year.
Sure.
They go to the losing side first and both stand at attention while the losing side sings their song. Then it goes to the winning side. I love that stuff.
Well, traditionally speaking, particularly when it's a matchup of parochial foes, Roncalli would have everybody meet at midfield, and there'd be a prayer there that would happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not the case. It's individualized now within your own huddles due to social distancing recommendations around the COVID-19 pandemic. But all those kinds of traditions. But you're right. A form of unity like that Army-Navy is the prime example off the top of the head.
Bucket list item for me for sure.
Moving forward for Guerin Catholic, before we wrap things up, we mentioned their next matchup is going to be still within the Circle City Conference. They'll take on Bishop Chatard next week. Another true test for them. How do you improve from this performance? Obviously, the easy thing to point and, you know, make a mockery of it is to put some points on the board. But seriously speaking, this is a Guerin Catholic team that, all things considered, has a lot of talented pieces, particularly in their running game, but it's not going to be an easy test against Bishop Chatard, a team that handled this Roncalli team pretty easily.
Pretty handily,
a week ago.
I think you've really got to get back to basics, to be honest with you, in terms of what you're doing if you're Guerin Catholic. And maybe start to take some more chances. I mean, what else you got to lose, right?
On the Roncalli side of things, they'll take on Brebeuf on the road next Friday night. Well, that'll about wrap things up for us here at Bob Tully Field at Roncalli Stadium. For my partner Sean Kroll and our entire staff and crew, this is Jimmy Cook saying again, our final tonight, Roncalli defeats Guerin Catholic 42-0. And until we talk to you next time, so long, everybody.
Just that one.
Which was... Who had that, do you know?
That was the diving catch, wasn't it?